Thank you very much for joining us despite your busy schedule. Here we would like to start the press conference of Japan Automobile Manufacturers Association. Today's press conference will be held online. First of all, let me introduce to you today's speakers. Chairman Toyoda Akio. Vice Chairman Katayama Masanori. Vice Chairman Hidaka Yoshihiro. Vice Chairman Mibe Toshihiro. Vice Chairman Uchida Makoto. Vice Chairman Suzuki Toshihiro. Vice Chairman Nagatsuka Seiichi. And finally, incoming Vice Chairman Sato Koji. Today we have 8 members present here. First of all, we would like to receive opening remarks from Vice Chairman Katayama.
Thank you very much. I'm Katayama, Vice Chairman of the JAMA. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for participating in this conference via online. So first of all, I would like to explain to you about the format for this conference. So far, the operation of the JAMA depended on the leadership of Chairman Toyoda, including this type of press conference as well. On April the 1st, at the start of the new fiscal year, in order to accelerate the evolution of JAMA to build a structure enabling a truly sustainable growth, we decided to strengthen a structure where Vice Chairman and Chairman will play the central roles as a team to tackle with all the challenges. Therefore, we would like to implement today's conference based upon this new format. So the chairperson as well as the vice chairpersons will take the lead together. Since this is a new initiative, we are not really accustomed to this, but I would like to ask your patience to bear with us. So now I would like to tell you about the reform of the operation structure of the JAMA in the future. So on the 1st of April, in January this year, Mr. Toyoda expressed his wish to resign the chairmanship of JAMA, and since then all the board of directors continued discussion on 2 major issues. The first theme is a successor to Mr. Toyoda, the chair. The second theme is the JAMA operation problems and countermeasures, which were revealed by the chairman's declaration to resign. As to Chairman Toyoda's resignation announcement, soon after that, all the directors agreed to persuade him to stay. Let me touch upon the details. On January the 26th, at the end of January, at the meeting of the JAMA chairman and vice chairman, Mr. Toyoda announced his wish to resign from the JAMA chairmanship. After he left the room, all the vice chairmen discussed the countermeasures. And we came to a consensus that we want him to serve as the chairman till the end of his term, to continue to lend the support, because he has led various reforms with a sense of crisis, while the environment surrounding the automotive industry has been rapidly changing. Thus, as a consensus, we concluded to ask him to stay. On the other hand, we also concluded it is necessary for the vice chairman to have stronger commitment to the operation of the JAMA with a more united operation and structure, which led to the second theme, the JAMA operation structural reform. So And this is the basis for this reform plan. Taking into account the importance of this matter, we held an emergency board meeting early February, as we felt it is necessary to confirm the views of all the board of directors. So surprisingly, despite the fact that the meeting was held with a short notice, all the directors attended the face-to-face meeting. So as to Chairman Toyoda's wish to resign, all the directors agreed to persuade him to stay. And in order to realize the sustainable evolution of the JAMA in the future, it is necessary to operate it by the united team structure of the chair and the vice chairman. So this idea was also endorsed unanimously. After that, we had an opportunity to directly convey the background and the conclusion of our meeting to the chairman, Toyoda. So the first point is that we ask him to stay as a chairperson, and the second point is that we explained to him about our policy to reform the operation structure of the JAMA. As to the JAMA operation reform, the chair and vice mayor will deepen the discussion on the future challenges, and he finally agreed to stay as the chair. And for the future, an important theme will be assigned to a vice chairmanship in charge of that particular theme to lead. And chairman and vice chairman will be united as a team to work together. An enhanced team structure to deal with the problems. As to our daily communication with media members, vice chairman will share the tasks to be engaged with the media. The chairman will dedicate to support the entire automobile industry, embracing 5.5 million people. To represent an individual company, Toyota, TMC, Mr. Sato, the new president, will join us as one of the vice chairmen to support the chairman to work with us. In the future, we will promote our activities with each vice chairman to have main ownership, and we intend to contribute to the development of the Japanese automobile industry as a united team of the JAMA. Today at the board meeting, we reported the background information and the conclusion, and all the directors endorsed. As a result, Mr. Toyoda, the chair, will continue to serve as the chairman. We feel that in launching the JAMA operation reform, we are asking him to continue to steer us in the upcoming 1 year because he has aspirations and experiences. Meantime, in this limited 1 year period, all the directors are determined to make our utmost efforts to create a sustainable, evolving JAMA. Thank you. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. From here, we would like to receive a few words from each of our vice chairs. Vice Chairman Nagatsuka, please. Yes, this is Nagatsuka speaking. As Vice Chairman Katayama just explained about how we have come to this conclusion, I would like to express my feelings. Chairman Toyoda, until today, he has been working face directly for challenges including carbon neutrality, and also he has been working on the Keidanren Committee on Mobility, working transcending the industry boundaries. That is why continuation of Chairman Toyoda is the consensus of all the directors, and I would like to express my appreciation for Chairman Toyoda accepting it. Going forward, the wish and the passion of Chairman Toyoda to have a brighter future, not only for the automobile industry, but for all of Japan. Vice chairmen will be working along with him, sharing the passion, and it is important for us to be taking actions in tandem with him. We are able to welcome Vice Chairman Sato at this point. This is a very wonderful thing, and we would like to power up JAMA, all of us together. As Vice Chairman of JAMA, I would like to fully support the members of JAMA, and also I would like to ask for your continuous support and cooperation with us. Thank you very much.
The next is the Vice Chairman, Mr. Hidaka. The environment surrounding automotive industry is facing a once-in-a-century major transformation. The situation is constantly changing, especially carbon neutrality trend is changing in diverse ways for each country and each region. And the exclusive support for BEV is changing to urge revision and correction as a path for the entire mobility to consider more diverse options for technological the neutrality of both four-wheel and two-wheel vehicles. In the changing era, the changes are always required, and the JAMA must respond to it. After the restructuring in 2020, the JAMA has evolved into a problem-solving organization. On the other hand, the excess burden concentrated on the chairman. We felt it would make it difficult to sustain whoever becomes the chairman, but we thought that it is a chance to reform the structure at this meeting. To grasp this chance without fearing a change, the new structure will divide the tasks among the leaders to overcome this difficulty as the all JAMA team. I'd like to ask the media to understand this and continue to support us. Thank you.
Next, Vice Chairman Mibe, please. This is Mibe. Last January, when I was appointed as Vice Chairman, 2050 carbon neutrality and various issues, various difficult issues to take up this challenge, it is the greatest opportunity. Under Chairman Toyoda and members of JAMA, we should be the ones who are the owners of this transformation. This was our slogan to work on our activities. Looking at the past year, electrification progressing and also economic security, the situation of other states and the global environment, it is becoming more complex and difficult. Amongst this situation, Vice Chairman Katayama just explained, JAMA has to respond to various challenges, and Vice Chairman has to work on it even more, and we should have to work in progress as one team. I myself would like to take up my role as Vice Chairman even further. Through mobility, transforming the society and creating new value, aiming towards it, we are able to welcome TMC incoming President Sato. So with President Sato and everyone together, we would like to work as one team for the future. Thank you.
The next, Mr. Uchida, Vice Chairman. Thank you very much. I'm Uchida. Now, the other vice chairpersons mentioned that when we look back in the last 1 year, our business environment has gone through the major change. It never happened like this. It was unprecedented year of lots of changes. Under that difficult environment, we have to reflect upon that because we depended on too much on the Chairman Toyoda, who led us with the strong leadership. And we have to have a commitment to this and have a sense of ownership ready to make a reform. So through that difficult discussion, we wanted to really contribute to the enhancement of Japanese competitiveness as well as the enhanced value of the industry so that we can achieve the evolution of the JAMA, so that we should unite ourselves and then dedicate ourselves. So I would like to have that sense of ownership and participate with JAMA with this resolution. Thank you.
Next, Vice Chairman Suzuki. Yes, this is Suzuki speaking. Not just from the standpoint of JAMA, but from the perspective of Japan, Chairman Toyoda has the power to convey his message, and I believe that it is the best choice to ask him to continue as chairman. Vice chairman should have the determination to fully support him, and we would like to vitalize JAMA. That is all. Thank you.
Finally, newly to be appointed Mr. Sato, the new vice chairman. In April, I will serve as the vice chairman in order to achieve the carbon neutrality as well as to achieve development mobility society. I think it is important that the automobile industry will unite to make a joint initiative. So we'd like to make the entire contribution to the industry. So we have to act first, create the changes, and then the learning and finding and discovery will contribute to a further improvement. That kind of a practical initiative is very important in the future. Of the JAMA, I would like to see accelerated joint efforts toward the challenges among the member companies in both mining capability. All the other chairpersons gave us the very heartwarming words of encouragement, and I would like to make my utmost effort to contribute. Thank you.
Next, we would like to receive greetings from Chairman Toyoda. First of all, why I said that I would step down. I thought that stepping down from president means stepping down from chairman of JAMA. Under that premise, I made various decisions. I first joined JAMA in 2010, and in the following year, there was the Great East Japan earthquake. All of Japan was under depression, and we received extraordinary damage as the Japan automobile industry too. It impacted various productions globally. And after that, transformation of the structure of JAMA and the current full lineup of vice chairmen, even if the chairman does change for Japan, for the future, for the 5.5 million people in the automobile industry, working with them, I believe that I was able to build this unwavering pillar of JAMA. And another point, the urgent issue of carbon neutrality. There could be ways which suit each nation and regions. We are starting to see the change in the tone, and I believe that we see a growing number of people who feel empathy with us. I have three aspects of me: chairman of TMC and JAMA, and my activity as Morizo. I thought that going forward, it would be better that I shall not take leadership, but rather continue my activity as Morizo, and to support the automobile industry and the 5.5 million people. I won't receive a weird kind of bashing or criticism. That is why I thought that I should resign. However, I have decided to continue my role as chairman, as mentioned by Vice Chairman Katayama. Chairman and Vice Chairman working all together as a team, and we should be building a structure to work on and take up the challenges as a team. I was able to receive specific proposals. And coming back to the Great East Japan earthquake, at that time I thought that the automobile industry is an industry that everyone works on it together. Without one company, we are not able to make cars or motorcycles, mini cars. The Japanese automobile industry is needed by the world. I felt that through the Great East Japan earthquake experience, and that gave me the unwavering pillar for my activity in JAMA. When I was appointed as chairman, time has run quickly, and 12 years has passed as myself becoming chairman of TMC. When I was appointed as chairman of JAMA, I made two promises. Number one, domestic automobile industry, I have the determination to protect it, and also the determination to lead the global automobile industry. Co-creation, competition, and cooperation, that is most important for me. This feeling hasn't changed or even become stronger. The remaining 1 year left for me as chairman, I truly want to work with all the vice chairmen, directors, and staffs, and We would like to work so that we will be able to realize the happiness of 5.5 million people. I would like to continue for another year. Thank you.
Now we'd like to start the question and answer session. And so our request as usual that JAMA is holding this press conference. Therefore, please refrain from asking a question to each company. And many people would like to entertain many questions from the many media reporters. So just one question per capita. And I would like to ask your kind cooperation. When you ask a question, we will nominate the person so that when you are designated, please turn on your microphone and video function, and then identify your name and your company before you speak. So please push your the button to raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. The first point. I'm Kondo, Mr. Kondo of Asahi. Please go ahead. Yes, I'm Kondo of Asahi Shimbun. I hope you can hear. Yes. Thank you. At the beginning, as you have explained to us, that you will change this the personnel, the leaders of the JAMA. You told us that Mr. Toyoda expressed his wish to resign, and you asked him to stay. But you say that it took about 2 months to prepare for today's announcement. So even though you tried to persuade him that was Mr. Toyoda really determined to resign, or did you discuss the potential candidate for the future chairman? What happened in the process of the last 2 months? And Mr. Toyoda mentioned about this background, but now he decided to continue to serve 1 more year. So how do you perceive that? And at the JAMA, that you came to that kind of consensus and agreement amongst these leaders' consensus. So could you please tell us this background and how to interpret that process? Thank you, Mr. Kondo, for your question. As to your first question, we had a discussion. It took as long as 2 months before this announcement today. So about the background and process, maybe I was not directly involved, so I would like to ask Mr. Katayama, the vice chair, to explain about the background. Yes, I will take the floor and explain what happened. Yes, as has been explained earlier, that at an early phase, right after that meeting, the vice chairman, as well as the attending the board of directors members, all came to an agreement. Let us persuade Mr. Toyoda to continue to stay till he completes his remaining term. That was our agreement. Because JAMA is now surrounded by such a difficult environment, and we cannot find anyone to replace him. So variable leadership. So rather than talking about the potential candidate to succeed, we just decided to ask him to and persuade him to stay. And I'm sure Mr. Toyoda knows about that very well, and he still expressed his resignation. We thought lots about that, the factors Mr. Hidaka mentioned. He announced his wish to resign. Maybe he wanted us to stimulate us in order to make JAMA sustainable without the drastic reform. And there was a high burden just imposed upon the chairmanship, because which vice chairpersons also felt we were also active. But let us reflect upon that. Maybe we should step up our team effort to overcome the current crisis. So at an early stage, we decided to ask him to stay, and we have to make a resolution and determination that we vice chairpersons should be more active. So what are the specific actions we can take? Because we felt we were contributing, but the feeling would not lead to a specific reform of the structure. So how can we build a full functioning team within JAMA? So we spent so much time to discuss that. We had 3 face-to-face meetings, and in many ways we had email communications and so forth, and consult among the vice chairpersons. And finally, we came to sort of an idea and plan. So with this kind of logic, we can persuade him to stay. So all the vice chairmen yesterday made an official report to Mr. Toyoda, and that took us so much time to prepare for that. Thank you. And another point, to respond to your second question, the executive leader will be exercising leadership, but how do we do it? Maybe Mr. Hidaka and Mr. Mibe can explain on that second part of the question. I'm Hidaka. JAMA has a sort of an informal agreement, but that's just one guideline. We like to observe that guideline. However, this time, Mr. Toyoda will become the chairman of the TMC. In that case, there's a president of the TMC, but the chairman of the JAMA, there are 2 different caps he has to wear. I'm sure he managed to do it well, but when we listen to the media reports and so on, he sometimes criticized in different ways. Rather than Toyota as an individual company, maybe he would act now as a chairman of this JAMA. Now Mr. Sato, the new CEO of TMC, will become the vice chairman of the JAMA, so that all the vice chairmen will be the CEOs of different automotive companies, which will be a quite effective structure to implement our actions on behalf of the JAMA. We are faced with this changing environment, and then we shouldn't be bound by all that past rules. And then I think in order for the Japanese industry to survive and be prosperous, I think we have to collaborate, and we should have a more effective, implementable structure. So we have to revise the current, the past rules and some binding rules as well. So it's high time for us to revise our structure. Thank you. Now I'm Mibe. Inherently, the executive top leaders, CEOs of each company should be the president of JAMA, the chairman of the JAMA, but the things are changing, and we have to expedite all the activities by having all the CEOs getting together at the JAMA. The direction of the overall automotive industry can be decided. That's why there has been informal rule or agreement that CEO of the company should be the chairman. But the different company has a different system. Some a person is called as a president or CEO or the representative director and so on. So we shouldn't be bound by the previous naming or title. But a quick decision making should be possible at the JAMA level as well. So there's no rigid rule that we should be bound by. But depending upon the changing environment and circumstances, we should be quite responsible to that, sort of agile, rather than being bound by the rigid rules. So there's an important philosophy and concept that we should adhere to, and then things should be expedited, and so that optimal structure, operation system should be created for the sake of the JAMA on the whole.
Did we answer your question? Yes. Chairman Toyoda, what is your view? In the initial statement, it was said there is an informal agreement, but listening to the Vice Chairman's explanation, once again, you changed from your wish to resign. You made a change. As you know, currently the automobile industry is in once in a century transformation, a drastic transformation. That is why chief executives coming together, all the companies Of course, we should be competing, but even in this competition, amidst this transformation, there shall be parts. It is inevitable that we have to also cooperate and coordinate. Having said that, chief executives to be able to have this kind of venue to discuss amongst each other, since we are able to continue this kind of meeting, recently I feel that we are able to share our candid opinions even more. In this situation, competition and collaboration, working on it, I myself, as the final touch for its finishing, I would like to stay for just one more year. And from TMC, President and CEO, incoming President CEO Sato-san will be joining JAMA. So what we have been taking importance in chief executives to be in a round table, we are going to continue that. And in this difficult situation, we want to contribute to Japan and also work for the world. I think this kind of structure is optimal. It's just 1 year, so please allow me to continue. And new President Sato and myself to say the difference between us. If Asahi Shimbun-san, if you are going to point out that there are 2 companies in JAMA, two representatives of TMC in JAMA, I am going to work for 5.5 million people, and President Sato will be working for 370,000 people, Toyota and the partner companies. So if you think that there is a difference in our role or what we are doing, then please do point that out, as you always do, Asahi Shimbun-san. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kondo-san. Then let's move on to the next question. From Jiji-Tsushin, Toyoda-san, please. This is Toyoda from Jiji-Tsushin. Do you hear me? Yes, please. I would like to ask to you about the spring labor management negotiations of 2023. Major companies, they have accepted the Hackington 100% agreement, and in SMEs, 95% was able to agree on base up. We still have the figures of about 15%, but small and mid-sized labor union and also non-regular employees, are they able to also have a wage up? I would like to ask Chairman Toyoda. Yes, thank you, Ms. Toyoda from Jiji-Tsushin. Well, you asked me about the spring labor management negotiation, but I was not present in the negotiation itself, so I would like to ask Vice Chairman Uchida and Vice Chairman Suzuki to answer the question. Yes, Uchida speaking. First of all, as JAMA, I would like to comment from my position as JAMA. 5.5 million people in the automobile industry. If my understanding is right, the labor union is only in the 30%. The remaining others, they are not able to even be at the table of a negotiation. As JAMA, we always have to have in mind about the members who are not able to let their voices to be heard. And I think taking action on behalf of them, we would like to have a brighter future for everyone working in the automobile industry. As JAMA, not just about the negotiation of their wages, but the diverse way of people to work and this type of discussion. And for the happiness of 5.5 million people, what can we do? I think we are able to have more and more of this kind of discussion and taking eyes on the response situation of the automobile industry. I believe that this trend is not just for OEM, but expanding to Tier 1 and further suppliers. Going forward, I hope that we will be able to penetrate this kind of virtuous trend for more and more members, and we would like to continue communication as JAMA. Thank you. And Suzuki would like to answer a little bit. I would like to provide a follow-up answer. From 2014, the highest level of this labor management agreement, so that we will be able to have this wave to be expanded to small and mid-sized companies. We would like to work with our suppliers too. Talking about an individual company like Suzuki, our headquarters is in the rural area or the countryside rather. Then from the suppliers we hear, "Oh, Suzuki-san, your company, it's good. The situation is good for you." Sometimes we hear that. So that is why I think that it's important for us to always keep in mind what is the optimal balance. So that is something that we should always be careful of, keep in our minds. Stable and continuously we should be growing. And for the virtuous cycle of growth and distribution, Suzuki and other auto manufacturers, so that we will be able to be profitable continuously and having the suppliers to be working with us to having a full discussion. I think that is the key. And this trend to the SMEs, I hope that it can be expanded. This kind of activity shall be done as a car maker too. That is all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Toyoda.
So the next question is from Mr. Tanigawa of Car Watch. I'm Tanigawa of Car Watch. I hope you can hear me. Thank you. Yes. Mr. Toyoda will stay as the chairman for one more year. So he has been implementing reform for the Japan Mobility Show, as well as at the G7 summit in May. There will be an event on behalf of the JAMA, which he advocated. So especially the May event is soon to come. What is the progress of that event in May? And you will continue to serve as a chairman for one more year. So how you will be involved specifically as a chair? Thank you for your question. In Hiroshima, a G7 summit in May, that JAMA will organize an event. And then how that our preparation is progressing. So Mr. Nagatsuka, the vice chair, will tell us about the general aspect, and Mr. Mibe will also comment on that too. Thank you. So about the Japan Mobility Show, how are we progressing in the preparation? So I'd like to give you the outline of this preparation phase. As you pointed out, that the name has been changed to Japan Mobility Show. So Japanese the industry will serve as the to play the central role. All the Japanese industries will work together to identify the bright future, so that 1 million people are expected to come, so that it will be fun for the Japan in the future. So it's going to like a festivity-like event for the as a Japan Mobility Show. So generally, there are 3 major points of the framework that we are thinking about. First, that is, we would like to make it as a forum for the future presentation. It's not just watching people will experience and they get moved and share, and we like to offer that experience so that it will be a forum for a future presentation to invigorate Japan. So that's the concept, the basis of that show. In that especially, we'd like to emphasize to involve and engage the startup companies so that they will play the central role. The members from the startup companies have difficulties in terms of the human connections as well as the funding, and they have more difficulties. But the startup companies will be the future leaders, driving force of Japan. So they are the ones that we need to encourage. So the JAMA would like to support those startup companies as well. The third point I'd like to indicate is that this Japan Mobility Show will be the forum where all the people from the world, especially people with expertise and knowledge, will get together. They talk about the future of mobility as well as discuss, and then send out messages and convey messages from there. So we like to make that forum as like the Japan version of this Davos conference for mobility. So all Japan should be united. So to make Japan invigorated so that we can convey messages and transmit messages to the world. So that conventional motor show will be stepped up and upgraded into this new Japan Mobility Show. That's the status quo. Let me add, I'm Mibe, about our preparation for the G7 Hiroshima meetings and how we perceive that and what is happening to the carbon neutrality target. JAMA in the last 2 years was trying to understand it properly. Our enemy is the carbon, not the combustion engine, and then the CO2 is related to all the energy creation and so on. So everyone involved should work together to reduce the CO2 emission. That's how we have been quite active. There should be a suitable way, suitable for each energy condition as well as the local, the regional and national situation. So optimal solution should be chosen. And even the other countries' media and the public opinion started to say that. But we have to take action immediately to stop this climate change. What we can do now? We should start from something we can do in order to reduce CO2 emission. So the automobile industries are active globally. The world is diversified, and we should have diverse options. And then not just new vehicles, but already the existing vehicles owned by people and running on the streets should also be involved in order to reduce the CO2 emission. So in that sense, the G7 to be held in May will really enhance the people's understanding about this issue, which is a very important opportunity. BEV and then other electrification is something that we like to be quite active. But we would like to further not just accelerate that promotion, but maybe diverse options and approaches should be also promoted, including the two-wheel vehicles as well as the heavy-duty vehicles. So with a diverse approach, we would like to really socially implement this, and the activity like that should be expressed and exhibited at Hiroshima, and we are currently preparing the specific content. But that's the direction we are heading toward to really promote that event in Hiroshima. Thank you. Another point, that the heavy-duty vehicle companies, 4 heavy-duty vehicles are here in Japan. It's a unique industry structure about the heavy-duty vehicles. And the commercial vehicles, Mr. Katayama could add to that what they are doing to cope with that situation. 4 heavy-duty vehicle companies are working together. And what is our activity? So 4 companies have set up a team. What kind of concept should be the basis for our mobility show the activities? So we are currently discussing the plan. So far, at the motor show, traditional motor show, we exhibited the products and so forth. But it was just a motor show. Even though we talk about the logistics, just the trucks were there, and then logistics, transporting and forwarding companies were there, and customers were also there. That was a chain of the system. But now its name has been changed to mobility show. 4 companies are now preparing. We should maybe change the flow in a backward manner. How the people, ordinary people, look at the logistics. Then, as the commercial vehicle and heavy-duty vehicle manufacturers, what we can do to contribute to build a society, a better society. The cargos might start to talk, and then the cargos and the trucks might start to communicate. What will happen by this kind of enhanced communication. We have never thought of this based upon that the reverse flow. Now we are talking about mobility, which is like a new society we are creating. So if this the package, the cargo, and another package will start to talk, that a stronger link and matching solution is necessary. If we can solve that problem, DX and GX might be created and directly linked. And it's going to be a quite exciting, good outcome for the customers or end users. So we came to that the basic consensus like that. So if matching can be done, maybe the quantitative the computer might be a quantum computer might be used in order to develop the new solution, or the telecommunication infrastructure 5G and advanced to 6G. Maybe the needed the telecommunication capacity can be supplied. So that will really involve the new colleagues. In other words, the startup companies can be involved, which will really induce a new change to livelihood and lives. But heavy-duty vehicles and trucks are not really the exciting look. So people should really have a wow experience to be excited. How can we create the exciting sense and feeling to the visitors and the consumers? So we would like to come up with our wisdom to have a good event at that show. So each of four companies' uniqueness should be treasured. But we are still heavy-duty vehicle manufacturers. We have a strong aspiration and wishes for mobility. So that kind of underlying feeling should be integrated into our participation in this show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tanegawa. Time is running out. I believe we can take just two more questions. First, Nikkan Jidosha Shimbun Fukui-san, please. Yes, Fukui from Nikkan Jidosha Shimbun. Once again, from the new fiscal year starting April, you are going to work as a team, Vice Chairman being in the center, but your actual actions that you are planning, I would like to ask about the action policy, the specifics, and you also talked about the challenges. Just one single year, I think it's difficult to solve everything. So your continuation, maybe it's too early to say, but the organizational structure from FY24 and beyond, if I may ask Chairman Toyoda, please. Even if it is you, Fukui-san, that's too early to discuss about. I just retracted my wish for resignation. I have asked to continue for a year, and you're saying, what about next? Would you please wait for that? And regarding this, I would like to ask Vice Chairman Hidaka, as JAMA, our priority theme for FY23. Next fiscal year, we have 4 pillars for our priority theme. Number 1, to enhance our competitiveness and tax structure. Mobility will be the pillar for strengthening our competitiveness. And working with Mobility Committee, we would like to have a robust industrial policy as all Japan. And for that, how should tax be collected and distributed? We would like to have a full discussion for the tax system. Number 2, GX, green transformation, including carbon neutrality. That, as Vice Chairman Mibe has explained, so that is the content. But anyways, in G7 too, as JAMA, we would like to express about the diverse options and the technology that we have. Based on the fact, we want to stay neutral, and how we would like to convey the message that diversification is extremely important for GX, including carbon neutrality. And number 3 is digital transformation and mobility as a service, MaaS. Regarding this, as Trinity, first of all, we want to reduce the number of traffic accidents, and for that, people, cars, and the environment surrounding the cars, based on data connected digitally to be analyzed fully so that we will be able to reduce traffic accidents. And also, especially for heavy-duty cars, but mobility, MaaS, the mobility service using autonomous driving, we want to provide a path for this social implementation. And finally, number 4, expand the automobile industry supporters through Japan Mobility Show. This was already explained today. These are the 4 pillars for our activity as JAMA FY23. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fukui-san. Unfortunately, this will be the final question from Yomiuri Shimbun. Yamamoto-san, please. Do you hear me? Yes, Yamamoto from Yomiuri Shimbun. Thank you. To Chairman Toyoda, in your initial remark, you said that you felt that it was better to continue your activity as a Morizo, but at the final stage, which timing did you decide to continue your role as chairman? And what is the biggest reason for that? May I ask you once again? Yes. Which timing? It's yesterday. Yesterday, Vice Chairman convened, and regarding today's BOD and before the press conference of JAMA, after being in the media that I will resign chairman. Vice chairmans, despite their very busy schedule, they were able to gather physically, face-to-face, to have a full discussion, and they asked me not just simply by words to continue, but they told me they will work together to enhance the competitiveness of Japan and to work for 5.5 million people. We are going to fight with you. Listening to their passion, this timing, it is already decided. It's my one final year. Then, having a new chairman coming in, and I have been working with JAMA as vice chairman and chairman for over a decade. I have my experience, and through my experience, because I had this experience, the sustainable role of JAMA, I believe that it has a huge role. That is my actual feeling. I believe that we already have been able to build our foundation, but going forward, to become an industry always needed by everyone, so that I would be able to hand over to my successor fully. I think that is the responsibility which lies solely on me. And with that understanding, I felt that I should work for one more year. Okay, understood. Thank you very much. Thank you. I believe you might have more questions, but unfortunately, we need to close the press conference here. Thank you very much for participating despite your busy schedule.